Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I had a real light Thanksgiving, and just a couple people over my house, and it was really nice. And now I'm looking forward to Christmas. So for the holidays, my husband, my grandchildren, and my daughter and I are flying to Cambodia from December 22nd to January 5th. My daughter opened a school, a nonprofit school in Siem Reap, right outside of Siem Reap, where in a village that didn't have a school. And for those of you who don't know, schools are in Cambodia, kids have to pay to go to school, or parents have to pay for their children to go to school. And in the impoverished villages, kids can't go to school unless they have sponsorship like the school that my daughter built. So it's been a project for her for 4 years, and I've been to Cambodia twice with her, and this will be my third time. And it's a pretty neat project. And she did just get nonprofit status, so she's doing all kinds of stuff to promote her little school. So if you want any more information about it, let me know. It would be a great way for your own students to have a pen pal in Cambodia. And the really cool thing is that where if you look them up, it's called Lovely Hearts Academy, Lovely Hearts Arts Academy in Cambodia. Lovely Hearts Arts Academy, and it's a new nonprofit. And if you do take a look at it, it is exactly what it is. There is no middleman, there's no corporate sponsors or anything like that. It is all grassroots, and it's a pretty neat project. So anyways, that's what I'm doing for the holidays. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you a minute about your project that's due on Sunday. And this is the project I've kind of been alluding to since the beginning of this class. And it's about ASB funding and some of the trials of ASB funding. And I'm sorry, I have my dogs jumping on me right now. I don't know why. Anyways, the project is you'll be writing a paper about ASB funding. So these are for everything that's in your this week 6, will kind of steer you towards writing this paper. So it's good to look at the little video. It's good to watch the safety tips on ASB funding, your questions about ASB funding, fundraisers. It's a big one. I would make sure you put in there something about your knowledge of fundraising and maybe some criteria that you could mention. I won't tell you now because it's your project, but if you could talk about some of the criteria about fundraising, that should be in there. Restrictions on fundraising, things like that. Also things that could get you in trouble around fundraising. So anyways, these are all for student ASB, and that's your project that's due on Sunday. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to me, okay? I'm kind of passionate about this one because it is something that all administrators need to go into with some type of working knowledge of it. It's one thing to have a regular budget, but that your school district and your board will oversee, and they're going to kind of make sure you stay out of hot water. But when it comes to your PTAs and your associations and your foundations and your boosters and your student clubs and your student council and your chess club and this club and that club, there's going to be a lot of ways money is going to come into your school. And so it would behoove you to understand what your guidelines are in that money, because that's what's going to trip you up. The second any of that money's missing, the second somebody says, well, I gave it to the principal, and if they did, then it's on you. If I told you before, I have a policy of never touching money. So that's why, because you just never know where the money's come from. I even had teachers aren't supposed to touch money either. Even the money that they're collecting for books in the classroom, they're not supposed to do that either. But I remember when I was a new principal, somebody came in and handed me like $2,000, and they said, "Oh, here's my student book money." And I'm like, "I don't want this." I told the teacher, I said, "I'm sorry, I can't take it." And she said, "Well, I'm going home right now. I can't hold it." And I said, I can't put money. I can't take money. And I remember it became a very awkward situation because I hadn't let them know up front that I don't touch money. And she was just going to come in and put it in my safe in my office. And I said, no, They might have done that before with other principals, but in case something ever happens, I know I've never been in trouble for money, but I have had friends that were in trouble for money just because they were being nice. So you have a paper that's due on Sunday at 11:59. You have some blog posts that are due. Your post this week is about one of your blog posts or your discussion posts is about funding for different states. So how much money they're getting for different states, how much they get per pupil. I gave somebody reached out to me a little while ago, and they said they had some questions about this discussion post. And I told them about a friend of mine that she was a principal in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, and I was a principal here in California. And I was lamenting to her that I only got roughly around, let's say, $10,000 per student. And she's like, how do you do it? How do you do it only $10,000 per month? I mean, per year, I'm sorry, 10,000 per year per student. And her budget was $35,000. Mine was 10,000 roughly. Hers was $35,000 per student at her school. And the difference of that was astounding. And I had no idea. It was over double. She had over double the amount of money at her school. So I asked her, I said, what do you guys do with all that money? What are you doing with this? And first of all, she couldn't believe I didn't make that much money, or we didn't get this much money in our districts. But what she did is they bought reading instructors, and they bought math instructors. So with that extra money, you could buy people to reduce your class sizes. And then obviously there's tests, well, not obviously, but their test scores went up. And so there's a lot to be said about where does the money go? So that's what they're asking you in that discussion post, is to look at where does the money go, and is it making a difference? So they're getting more money. Is it making a difference? And we have the added, comparing it to Maryland anyways, we have our English learner population requires more money to get our students that come in with English learner status, that they have to have it takes more money. It takes more money in personnel and materials and supplies to boost them up to where English only students are, and when they come into school. So we have to shore it up a little bit. So that's where our money goes in California. So is it making a difference? So anyways, I have a wonderful week. It's always a pleasure talking to you. So if you ever want to reach out, you know how to get in touch with me. And if I don't hear if you write to me and you don't hear back from me within about 24 hours at the very most, it's usually a couple hours, please reach out to me again or call me. Okay. All righty. And we're coming down to the end. So we only have a couple more weeks left. And so right now, everyone is in really, I honestly have to say, that's my dog barking. Everyone's in really good status with me right now, and I think I'm caught up on grading, except for one discussion post. I didn't grade one discussion post from last week. Other than that, I'm pretty caught up. Everyone is doing an outstanding. I mean this so sincerely. You are all doing an outstanding job. So keep it up. We have a couple more assignments that are due, and a couple more discussion posts, and you guys are rocking. So keep it up.